I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like Brian was a favourite, but Eddie had every chance of winning. The way that we had Eddie moving, the first week we trained with Eddie, I was like, oh shit, we're in trouble because he was struggling. But his ability to pick things up, his diligence in training was off the scale. I can't tell you. The guy works hard. I mean, he worked his ass off in training. And all the stuff we did was just movement drills. We just drilled movement, just rinse and repeat, movement, movement, movement. We wanted straps. We wanted referee's grip. If we could have called the match, we wanted everything referee's grip and everything in strap. Now, it was a little frustrating. You can hear me on the video screaming. That's for a reason, because Eddie got so invested in talking shit to Brian and making a show, he forgot about the game plan.
That does not surprise me, though. Haven't you coached a million people? Like, I have looked at someone right in their fucking face and said, my God, if you don't slip, attempt to slip, or get in a set grip, you're a retard. And the guy's like, I blanked out. I mean, that's just, and listen, I've went through a tournament, and when it's all said and done, realized I didn't do what the fuck I was supposed to either. So that's another reason, like, I don't think that people understand the difference. There's a difference in practice and the tournament. And there's a difference between the tournament and this 4-round super match.
Yes,
it is brutal.
Listen, Trav, if you watch a lot of the interviews I did beforehand, right? And I thought, we were talking shit. I ended up, going on podcasts and fighting with fucking Devin and Brian. But a lot of the stuff I was saying on there, my feelings were that when we got to the actual match, that both Eddie and Brian had fucking forget everything they learned, and that's why I was worried about them breaking her on. I thought, we've done this, and Eddie's looking great in training, but then we'll go up there and we'll get in the actual match, and knowing what a fucking savage he is as a man, he'll just forget everything we did, try to win in any way possible, and maybe bust his arm. So I was terrified about that. Yeah, but I genuinely believe they would definitely forget everything they learned. And to a degree, he did that. But you can't knock the lad. It's like you say, we've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter. He'll do it again 10 years from now if he keeps arm wrestling. It's just there's a loneliness up there too. No one cares about your coach. You don't care about your coach. You'd have a numb feeling between your shoulder and fingertips, and it is the only thing that is fucking with your head. There's no doubt about it.
When he watched it back, Eddie came out. He went up to the room. We went out that night, myself, Ed, all our team and Brian's team. And when we were walking over there, Ed's like, oh, Neil, fuck, I've watched it back. He said, dude, I didn't do anything. I could have won. And I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. He said, a lot of the time, I got the control. I walk in, I got back in the match, and I can hear you shouting, fucking let go. I'm like, let go. Get to the strap. Because in my opinion, that match goes to straps. I know I'm biased, but in my opinion, he gets me strap, we win. I really fucking believe that.
Yeah, he did listen, there was a situation where in the strap that there was first movement from Eddie. And that movement was enough with the crouched, unorthodox leverage problem that Brian has for height, that it immediately separated his hand from his face. And then it was interesting.
And it's a problem for Brian to get, because he's so massive. And also a lot of the guys in training are working with Brian, and their plan with Brian is, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go backward, move backwards real slow. And if you do that with Brian, of course, you're in serious trouble. My intention, we had 4 lanes. The press wasn't there. One of the big things was the table specifications were different. So the gap in the center of the table was bigger than the dimensions we were sent. And when we were mucking around, Eddie wasn't comfortable with that at all. It felt dangerous. So he sacked that off and went to another one we had. The main thing was to blast his arm. We wanted to go past his hand, take his hand out of the game completely, go deep as hell, lower palm really forward, and go through the man's arm, get him into the B side, because we knew that he wasn't moving well on the B side because of the size, because of Brian's scale. So that's where he was much weaker. Let me tell you, when Brian joins it up at the table, fucking hell. You know, when he gets comfortable, if he can get really comfortable, dude's going to be a savage.
Bring us inside the conversation